Somebody asked me, Joe, you ever think about being a vlogger? I was like, a vlogger? What's that? Like a blogger with a V? And they was like, yeah, just get on there daily and pretty much talk about your life, talk about somebody else's life, talk about this and that. It don't really matter what you talk about. I was like, you know what? That sounds like a cool idea. Now, this is not written, so it's definitely not going to be on topic. It ain't no topic. Pretty much, my name is LeJerald Betters, a.k.a. Stixx, a.k.a. Best Track Rapper. I run track for a living. I entertain. I coach. I do other entrepreneurial things, so that's kind of a little bit about me. Now, I know there's one story about this one dude. But that's what this gonna be about, just random stuff when you just ain't got nothing to do. But I know this one story, and this story made up, so I guess I don't know this story. I made it up. But, it was a coach and a son, and a coach and an athlete. And the coach had other athletes, but this one particular athlete was at a high caliber. Now, since I run track and field, I'm going to just say this is a track athlete. And it was him and his coach, and it was really them two as one bond. And so they used to go to practice. The athlete would come to practice without his shoes. Coach would give him some shoes. He'll come to practice without nothing to run in. Coach will have extra stuff for him to run in. He'll come hungry. Coach will give him food. He'll come with no water. Coach will give him water. So pretty much you get to the track meet, he pretty much did the same thing. He came sometimes without his shoes. Coach had an extra pair of shoes. Sometimes he came without his bodysuit. Coach knew him, so he had an extra bodysuit. So he noticed that the guy was borderline. He kept getting, either he'll get first, but could have ran better, or he'll lose. And coach was trying to figure out, why is this guy not, why can't he get over this hump? Like, in practice, he's this caliber athlete. He's running these times. Sometimes he don't, sometimes he do, a lot of times. But he couldn't figure out what was going on. So coach created a checklist for this athlete. So now he got on his checklist shoes, water, food, suits, anything that he would need to come to practice into the track meet. This went on for 1 month. The coach, so it takes 30 days to build a habit. So he did it, and before long, the guy always had his stuff. He always had everything that was on a checklist, because he just followed the checklist. Now, so he get to a track meet, and the coach was still trying to figure out, in the track meet, he finished the race. He looked at this time he had. He looked at the automatic time. He recalculated his splits, re-evented his efforts put into the race, and he couldn't figure out, why did this guy look the same? He must not be bringing something on that checklist. So when he made it to regionals, and it was to get to state. And so they was at regionals, and coach all week thinking about, what is this guy missing? So he makes a checklist, and that checklist said everything the same but one thing. He figured out and realized the reason why his athlete wasn't performing the way he was wanted to be performing, because he simply just forgot to bring himself. He wrote a checklist for everything to bring but himself. So he was never at those practices. He was never at those track meets. He always had his mind somewhere else. He thought following guidelines would put his mind in the right place. It only helped, but his mind was still in the wrong place. So the moral of this made up story is, sometimes a checklist is just the minimum you need. Sometimes you gotta actually bring you. Actually, all the time, you gotta bring you. Bring you to wherever you're going to. You're going to a dark spot, bring you. You will survive better. You're going to the light, bring you. So the light can expose you and change you and mold you to the correct. Don't be afraid, and don't be somebody different in the daytime, because you will never change. Future means change. If you don't change, then there's no future. It's just a present that stays a present. And that's probably defining time, because no matter what, time goes on. But the truth is, if you don't change, there's no future. You can have a bad future or a good future, but future means a change in time, also a change in person. So, I mean, that's just some random stuff, you know. So I'm not going to be talking too much. I don't even know how many minutes to make this vlog, but this is just the first day, and hopefully tune in to me. I'm going to be talking about some random stuff, getting a little juicy, getting, you know, talking about this and that with, I don't know if I'm going to talk about ladies. That kind of just hurt the image. You know, the lady probably be looking like, why you say that? But I can figure something else out that we can talk about. You know, definitely comment on this. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you would want me to talk about. Let me know what you want to hear about. It don't got to be about athletics. It can just be about anything. Stixx, what you think about, shoot, Denzel Washington versus, shoot, Morris Whitaker? I don't know, man. Just something, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is in this world when you just talking about nothing. People be listening to nothing all the time. But it's that Stixx, a.k.a. Best Track Rapper, a.k.a. LeJerald. First day on the blog. Stay tuned. I'll be checking back in with you guys.